How about Michael Gorenko? Okay, Mr. Henson, you have 5 minutes, and you'll be followed by Robert Barger.
All right, then. Well, I may not need the whole 5, but anyway, my name is Scott Henson. I appreciate y'all staying here late tonight to hear everybody speak. This is an historic and very important night, and I think it's very important that you do pay close attention and take all this seriously. I know sometimes some of this can get pretty hot, but it's hot because it's important, and it's hot because it matters, and that's why everyone's up here, and I appreciate y'all taking it seriously. I wanted to give just a little bit of backstory and history about how we got here, because not everybody has been here through this entire process, a few on the police side, but really even on the advocacy side. It was said by Chief Manley and others, oh, well, if we don't sign this contract, we're going to lose all this great accountability and oversight that we've negotiated over all these years. And the history I wanted to give you is about how that oversight originally got here. I was part of a group of people back in the 90s that launched a campaign to try and install civilian oversight here in Austin. And we worked for a couple of years to get created something called the Police Oversight Focus Group that was created, and we negotiated in good faith. The union was involved. The community was involved. They came up with a plan. It was a compromise. We didn't get everything we wanted, but it was a plan. Then they went into the union negotiations. At the time, we were not allowed there. Austin Justice Coalition has been in the room this time. That's been incredibly important. That's been a huge accountability element, frankly, in all this, and it's allowed the community to sit at the table. We weren't allowed at the table back then, and so they went in behind closed doors, and they came back with the version of the Austin Police Monitor that we have now, which is a piece of junk. That's the problem. And when we came back in the day, this was in 2000, the community, we had a hearing very much like this. About 150 people signed up to speak against the police contract. All the people that have been pushing for civilian oversight for years showed up that night to oppose the police contract, just like they are opposing the police contract tonight, because the oversight is a piece of junk. It's not worth anything. It's not doing anything. It's not helping anyone. They make recommendation after recommendation, and nothing happens ever. Ever. And we knew that would be the case. It was structurally gutted like a fish when they put the thing in place in the first place. We knew it. That's why we opposed it in the first place. That's why we didn't want this. We said it's better not to have a contract at all than to have what we're having here, because what you're doing is providing cover for misbehavior. You're letting the public think, oh, well, we have civilian oversight. We're holding our police accountable. No, you're not. It's a lie. It's not true. It's not true. So that's the problem we had then. We have the same problem today, and we've forgotten our history. We've forgotten that nobody wanted this thing in the first place. The union wanted the money. The city had political reasons that they wanted it. It wasn't about, oversight then, and it needs to become about oversight now. Real quickly, since I have a little time, I'm going to mention that the other thing that first contract did is it made the Austin police officers at that time, when you adjusted for the relative cost of living where you are, the highest paid officers in the country. Today, they're still the highest paid officers in Texas. And what that did was squeeze out, for that entire intervening 17-year period, every other priority that the city had. Bill Spellman complained about it for years and years, that the police budget is squeezing out all our priorities. There are a lot of other ways that your budget can promote public safety. You can provide programs that help victims. You can hire case managers. You can do all sorts of training. You can have homeless housing. There's a lot of things we can do if you have some extra money that will influence public safety more than just hiring a few more people with a gun. And we need to look at those things. One last thing, and then I'll let one last thing, then I'll be done. It was mentioned earlier that, and it is true, that they didn't get seven of the 8 reforms in the contract. I think they got 1. But it was also mentioned that it was said that the open records proposal by the advocates was somehow illegal, that we can't modify the Open Records Act. I don't use this word lightly at all, but I will tell you that is a flat-out lie. That is simply not true. The fact is that hold on, please, let me just finish. So the fact is that on the open records, here's what's going on. In Chapter 143, 089G, this is the 143 that they can negotiate within. Chapter 143, 089G creates a secret personnel file that the city may create. If the city creates the secret personnel file, all the disciplinary records go into that file. You can negotiate that, you should negotiate that, and you should not accept a contract that does not include transparency for police misconduct. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henson.